They thought it was just another routine takedown, 3 quick shots, no hesitation. Cold, calculated, like they'd done it a dozen times before. But they had no idea who they were dealing with, not the girl, and definitely not her mother. That's where their pattern cracked wide open. It all happened so fast, nobody saw it coming. Not the girl, least of all. 17 years old, all sunshine and spark, walking home after practice in her cheerleading outfit, headphones in, backpack bouncing with every step. She had no idea that death was gliding down the block behind her, quiet and unannounced, in a marked police cruiser. The kind of street that should have been peaceful. A sleepy, safe-feeling place. But in neighborhoods like hers, it only takes a slow-rolling squad car to turn a calm day into a crisis. No lights. No shout. No time. They said she fit the description. Isn't that always what they say? There was no weapon. No threat. Nothing but the way she looked and the confidence in her walk. A few heartbeats later, she was lying still, red soaking into the pavement, while the officers radioed in as casually as if they were placing a lunch order. No urgency. No remorse. Just another name to be added to the growing list of lives cut short for nothing. People gathered. Phones came out. Tears welled. Voices shook. But it was already done. The shock hit the street like a tremor. Another tragedy. Another name to hashtag. Another mother's world destroyed in a moment that would get broadcast, analyzed, debated, and slowly forgotten. But not this time. What no one there realized. Not the police, not the neighbors, not even the strangers live streaming the aftermath, was who the girl's mother really was. She wasn't the type to stand in front of cameras, asking for justice with trembling hands. When the call came through on the other side of the city, the name hit her like an explosion. Her daughter. Her only child. Gone. No warning. No why. Just gone. Most people would collapse, cry out, or turn to the media for help. But she wasn't most people. She was something else entirely. Years ago, she had been a tactical operations leader, elite response, classified deployments, Black Ops level experience. A woman who had seen hell and survived it. Her uniform, long retired, sat folded with medals and after-action reports buried deep in a storage chest, untouched for years. She never imagined she'd need it again. But grief rewrites everything. When those officers fired their weapons, they didn't just kill her child. They awakened something they couldn't begin to understand. Something that doesn't belong on the evening news. While the system did what it always does, suspended the officers with pay, released a sterile press statement, and let the spin cycle begin, she moved differently. Quietly. Purposefully. She wasn't lighting candles or making speeches. She was placing calls, not to journalists, but to people who didn't exist on paper. To buildings without addresses and agents without faces. The kind of network built in the shadows, used only when the stakes were deadly. And while the department reassured the public that everything was under control, she was pulling every string, opening every file, following every hidden lead. Imagine a grandmaster flipping the whole board when the game is rigged. That's what she did. Within 2 days, sealed footage mysteriously surfaced. Records the department claimed were lost appeared on restricted federal databases. Background information on the officers leaked anonymously to reporters. Everything started to unravel. And she was just getting started. The story didn't unravel with shouting or public statements. It started with a quiet shift, the kind that made powerful people sweat. Without making a scene, she lit a fire that climbed fast, and suddenly, those officers weren't just facing their department's internal probes. They were answering to federal agents who meant business. She didn't walk into that precinct as a mourning parent. She entered as a commanding officer. One who held more authority than anyone there. She knew every regulation, every loophole, every way to slam the gates shut behind her. If some called it vengeance, for her it was simple. Procedure. Unforgiving, precise, and not designed for remorse. The police chief got an unexpected visit. Not from reporters or community leaders, but from quiet men in tailored suits who didn't carry badges, just heavy questions. And every answer they gave chipped away at what little credibility the department had left. The city tried to contain the damage, stay silent, move forward like nothing happened. Media coverage faded. But under the surface, the pressure built. The kind of pressure that made people twitch, that made walls creak before a collapse. Then came the unexpected twist. There always is one. A young officer, not one of the shooters, but someone who'd watched the raw footage, couldn't sleep, couldn't forget, couldn't stomach the silence. So he acted. Anonymously, he delivered the uncut body cam video straight to her. Risked everything. That footage? It told the real story. Her daughter walking, earbuds in, carefree. A moment of confusion in her eyes, then gunfire. No warnings. No threat. Just 3 bullets and an officer who stepped back like he'd squashed something beneath his boot. That video wasn't just evidence, it was a bombshell. When the oversight committee saw it, the mood in the room changed. She entered in her full uniform. Not a single tear. But the silence grew heavy around her. She didn't beg. She didn't seek sympathy. She gave orders. Called for sweeping reform. Federal investigations. National-level audits of police procedures. She spoke like someone used to commanding change, not requesting it. One senator leaned in and asked, "What does justice mean for you now?" Her response was calm but sharp. Not candles. Not vigils. Not t-shirts. I want accountability. I want systemic loss. I want results. That quote traveled fast. Her daughter's image, once just another tragic name, became something else entirely. A face that marked a turning point. Parents from across the country came forward with their own stories. Officers began to resign. Cities were forced to reopen cases long buried. Something real was shifting. Of the 3 officers involved, one stepped down, one tried to hide his tracks, and one went straight to his lawyer. But the protection they were used to? It started falling apart, bit by bit. The closing image was unforgettable. The police chief, publicly issuing a statement of remorse. The officers stripped of rank. New laws signed. Real policies, not just PR campaigns. And through it all, she never stood at any memorial. Her words were clear and final. I don't want candles. I want consequences. And that line caught fire. It spread, it stuck, and it sparked something bigger than one case. Her daughter's photo wasn't a symbol of sorrow. It became a marker in time. The moment things didn't just break, but started to rebuild differently. The list of names stopped expanding because one mother refused to let hers be forgotten. But here's the question that lingers. One we all need to answer. Can change like this ever come from within? Or does it always take outside force, federal oversight, even military pressure, to shake a system this broken? Do rules fix injustice, or do they need to be broken first? Say what you think. Because silence? It's not just the absence of sound. Sometimes it's complicity.